Pat, Clive, a pleasure to meet you. Now, this year's a big one for the PFA. It's 50 years of the PFA Awards. You both won Players Player of the Year. Where does winning that rank amongst all the goals, amongst all the records, the trophies? Where does winning that one rank for you guys?
On a personal basis, it doesn't get any higher than that, to be chosen by a fellow professional as Football of the Year. And I mean, looking back when you think that I was the first goalkeeper to win it, and there's only 2 goalkeepers that won it in 40 years. It's just, that tells you how big an award it is.
I have to concur with Pat.
Yeah.
I think it's the ultimate accolade for all the individual awards, collective awards, when you're playing for your club, for your fellow professionals to vote for you, to say that you were the best player that season and over a season. Yeah, very proud and privileged to have won the award.
But as time's gone on and you've seen the amount of world-class goalkeepers who haven't gone on to win the award, has it changed how, not grateful, but how much you appreciate winning it, seeing that you are in a group of just 2 goalkeepers to do it and take home the award?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when you look at that, in my time, like Joe Corrigan, Phil Parks, the great Ray Clements, and you look at what they have won, like, especially Ray at club level with Liverpool and that, and to think that he hasn't won what we have won, you know, incredible. That just shows you how difficult it is.
Completely. And looking back on those seasons, is there a standout moment for you from the year you won the award that really comes to mind as a defining moment from that year?
Well, I will never forget the game against Norwich. We were playing Norwich City. A few of the young players from Spurs had left to play for Norwich, and I had a reasonable game, not a good game, but I managed to score a hat-trick, would you believe? I probably had 3 shots on goal, scored a hat-trick. And as I turned, having scored the hat-trick, Ian Crook was the captain of Norwich, who'd been a young player here. He said to me, "You're so lucky." He said, "You've only had 3 shots and you scored 3 goals." He said, "You know what?" He said, "Tomorrow you'll win the PFA award because we've all voted for you." And that was on the Saturday. The award ceremony was on the Sunday night. I knew that I'd been nominated along with Glenn Hoddle and Chris Waddle from Spurs that year. But I'd no thought that actually I might win it. And that was the first time it dawned on me, my goodness, I might have a chance of winning this award, which I'd never really believed could happen. So that was in terms of this award and that particular season, that was the moment where I actually thought, goodness me, I might win this.
But you're in such a successful Tottenham team to win trophies. Was there a standout moment from your season winning the award that?
Well, funny enough, not at that year.
Yeah.
You know, 76. Looking back, I mean, 75. We need to beat the great Leeds team to stay in the first division. I mean, that was how desperate we were at that Monday night last match, having to beat Leeds, who were playing the European Cup final the next week. And that was how poor we were as a team at that stage. Like, so looking back, I can't remember too many games, but I must have been.
Yeah, you did all right. I think you kept 21
yeah.
clean sheets in the season. You won it, over 20 clean sheets.
So I mean, that was 20 clean sheets playing in a team like that where we obviously weren't scoring enough goals. Like. And then the next year we finished 8th or 9th, which wasn't bad, considering how poorly we'd done the year before. But looking back on reflection, I was Football of the Year, it's Spurs Player of the Year from 1971, 72, right up to 75, 76, every year, Spurs Player of the Year. So I must have been doing something right.
Keeping a minute, I think. Get busy.
And in 73, I'm going back, I won the Football Writers Player of the Year. So I'm the only goalkeeper to have done that. So that's something that I'm very proud of as well.
Yeah, proud moments. And one thing I always want to talk about when speaking to winners in the year they won is, how was your mindset going into games? Because you scored so many goals. Did you feel as if you could just do anything in those games? Did you run on confidence, or how did you motivate yourself to keep going every week and score goals?
Well, I'd had a very difficult year the year before, having been injured for almost a year. So I played 12 games before that season started. Spent a summer, obviously, maintaining my fitness, building myself for the start of the season. change of manager. David Pleat arrived to take control of the team, and he had his ideas. That certainly worked for me in the way that we were structured to play that season. And I got off to a flying start where I scored a hat-trick on the opening day at Villa, and never looked back. And I just went into games knowing that I was going to get chances, get in the positions. And unfortunately enough, I went off with a fabulous start and managed to continue that throughout the season. So in a way, I wasn't really thinking about it. It was happening. I just had to be in the right place at the right time. And then honing those skills over the years, it just all came to fruition that season.
We've got a big job today. We've got every player to win the PFA Player of the Year. There's your other co-keeper to win the award. Between you, we've got to decide on a PFA Player of the Year five-a-side team.
It's an impossible job.
It's an impossible. You can just throw them up, see what lands.
The only way I would do it, obviously, players I've played with, who you know firsthand what their abilities have been, how you know firsthand how good players they were. These are all incredible footballers in their time and what they've done, what they achieved. So I just feel I would pick it as players I would love to watch as a spectator. If I was a spectator sitting watching a football match, who would I like to see playing in my five-a-side team? So Big Pat's in goal.
We're sticking with Pat in goal.
Big Pat's in goal. He has to be. I played with Peter for England, a brilliant goalkeeper. But you know, when you're talking about what this man's achieved, not only in winning this award but in his career, only two goalkeepers. Amazing. Which makes it very, very unique.
All these players, you can imagine players that have won that award, brilliant players.
Top players.
Yeah.
From the winners, for me, one that I would say would be Kenny Dalglish. That's purely as a young person growing up watching Kenny playing at Liverpool in particular. I just thought he was great to watch, brilliant footballer. So Kenny would King Kenny would get
any objection.
I mean,
you would have played against
Bill
him.
Nick watched him, and I think he was just about to sign him for us, and he signed for Liverpool. You know, so we missed out on him. But
worked out all right for him in the red shirt, didn't it?
Certainly did. Yeah.
Kenny Dalglish. Right, let me give you these to have a quick scroll through, see who comes to mind.
I think again, you talking about goal scoring and records and achievements. For me, there's only one I can put in, and there's been some sensational goal scorers over the years, but Alan Shearer has to be leading the line. Obviously, PFA winner, and I actually played against him when he played one of his very first games for Southampton. I think it was 16, and I was at Chelsea, and you could see then there was this incredible talent that was emerging, and he went on to the records that he achieved. So I think he has to be leading the line.
Yeah,
Alan Shearer.
Along with that, what a player.
Well, he actually won twice, so you get to choose between a Newcastle Shearer or a Blackburn Alan Shearer, which is a tough decision in itself.
Well, Alan Shearer, Newcastle number 9. Yeah, I think the way he played there, he was obviously a god there. So for me, he would be in it.
Fantastic. Yep.
Pat, there's so many difficult decisions.
You get a sub as well. I forgot to say you do get one on the bench.
Oh, you can't pick anybody.
5 and a sub. It was a good one the other day. Someone had Thierry Henry on the bench. They couldn't believe it, but he was. In there.
I mean, you could put every one of those players in your team a different day of the week, couldn't you?
And having worked with him here at Tottenham and what he went on to achieve as well, I would say Gareth Bale.
Yeah, well,
I know you're talking Ryan Giggs, who's obviously won just about every award that there is to win over the years, but Gareth was an exceptional talent. I don't think he was really appreciated in the way he should have been with what he achieved at Real Madrid.
Yeah,
you know, that was a momentous transfer to go there and play at Real Madrid, but then to win the Champions League in the way that he did over a number of occasions, I would put him in.
Yeah, it was incredible the way they treated him towards the end, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I
And
couldn't believe
winner
that.
of the young player the same year he won Players Player, which is
Yes,
again,
when he was here at Spurs.
Seeing him day in day out, what was he like as a pro?
Well, the only way I can describe it, Gareth was as he arrived from Southampton, he was a young boy, but he became a man. He physically, everything about his game developed. But we had some incredible talent in that squad, and when you have, your Robbie Keanes, your Luka Modric's, and Gareth did things in training where they went, wow, did he just do that?
Yeah.
So he had something that was very special. He had. We all know of the the incredible performances against Inter Milan in the Champions League, one in San Siro and then back at White Hart Lane, as he was emerging and really announced himself, I think, to the world, especially in those games. But then went on to achieve what he did. An incredible talent.
Fantastic athlete as well,
Yeah,
isn't he? Shooting ability, brilliant.
It was
I'd have
electric.
been hitting the
Pace.
playing against him
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a small group of defenders, Pat. So I give you those.
Do we want any defenders?
Do you want a defender? Are you going to have a defender?
He's in goal,
Or are you
so-
going to have a? You could put there's so many options, isn't there? There's midfield options.
But there are some great ones. Paul McGrath,
Paul McGrath, yeah, what a
brilliant player.
Could put. We've got Conte,
Alistair, Colin Todd,
Bruyne,
Norman Hunter.
player. Yeah,
Roy Keane.
As a 16-year-old, Norman put me on my backside
Really?
in my second game for Queen's Park Rangers. He was playing at Bristol City at the end of his career.
Yeah.
I came on as a 16-year-old sub for Queen's Park Rangers, and I hadn't touched the ball, and all I was doing was laying on the floor looking up at the floodlights.
That's a quick welcome, isn't
and
it?
Norman was standing over me saying,
Welcome to the real world. He's 16, yeah.
so he was a defender, wasn't
yeah.
he? Yeah.
I was only booked once in 1,100 games, and it was against Leeds.
Oh, really? Got him back for one then.
I'm not going for a
wasn't-
defender.
yeah.
We're getting rid of
Not in a five-a-side team.
All right. Well, the choice of midfield.
Steve Gerrard, midfield.
Yeah,
Got Stevie, Roy Keane, De Bruyne,
Who's won it twice, hasn't he?
Conte.
I can remember going up to Liverpool again one night to watch a goalkeeper for Tottenham, and he was just coming into the team, Stephen Gerrard, and I thought, what a player he is.
Even that early, you could
Yeah.
straight in. And
Very early game. Must have been, he had only played one or two games from at that stage. I can see him and think, what a player this kid's going to be.
so
Yeah, Stephen Gerrard.
Goes
I
in,
think he
yeah.
goes in to the five, yeah.
complete midfielder. I think he'd be good in a five. He could do some defending.
I
for
think
you,
he could
set
defend as
stuff
well
up,
if he had to, yeah. If we needed him to.
How many is
We
that?
got one more.
Got one more.
One more and a sub.
Well, you see, this is a big. Are you player manager? Are you going in the five?
No, not at all. I wouldn't get anywhere near that. I'd happily manage that crew. I'd love to.
Let me give you these then.
I think it would be go out and play, lads.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're talking to.
I mean,
to
Liam
these-
Brady, what a player he was,
Yeah.
you know. And we've never seen enough of him in this country. Like, whenever he went across Juventus, brilliant years there as well.
Yeah,
I actually arrived at Arsenal in 1980, and Liam, as I arrived at Arsenal, he was leaving to go to Italy, and so I literally, as a young 18-year-old, trained with Liam for 7 days, for 7 days before he left to go to Italy, and just in those 7 days, you could see the most amazing left foot balance, poise. A wonderful, wonderful footballer. So,
He chose his favourite moment as a volley against Spurs.
of course he would.
Foot, top corner. That was the
Yeah,
one. That was the one he picked out.
Kevin Keegan. Oh my
Oh,
goodness, he's
what a
so
player as well, Kevin.
he's so difficult.
Talking about Kevin, he was right up there in my 3 or 4 the year that I won it.
Yeah.
He was being considered because Cliff Lloyd, the chairman at PFA, he had rang me that week to make sure I was going to be at the function. And I said, sorry, Cliff, I can't be there because Northern Ireland are going to play in Israel the next week. So I'm travelling with the team on the Sunday. And he went sort of silent. And then he came back to me in the week, Pat, are you going to be at the football right at the PFA do? And I said, no, I'm travelling with the team. And he came back to me then at the weekend again, Pat, we need you at the function.
He was counting the votes as they were coming in.
Whenever I went into the hotel on the night, I seen Brian Moore interviewing Kevin Keegan, and I thought, he's won it. And it was only whenever my name was announced that I realized, no, I have won it. And then I had to join up with the squad the next day, travel to Israel on my own.
Yeah.
And I actually got on the plane, and the pilot, just before we were about to take off, he said, have to tell you folks, we've got this year's PFA Player of the Year on board. And he actually invited me up to sit in the cockpit on the flight across to Israel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you go up then?
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Incredible. That's amazing.
That couldn't happen nowadays, yeah.
So we're going to go for Liam, 2 lefties,
Yep,
2
yep.
right, and Alan Shearer leading the line.
Yep.
And then we've missed some
Happy with that?
players
Yeah.
out. John Barnes.
Oh.
John Barnes, my England debut, my connection to John, my England debut, no one remembers it other than you say John Barnes' goal against Brazil in the Maracanã.
Ah.
That was my debut, but everyone remembers John Barnes' goal, and absolutely incredible.
It's not a bad game to be involved in.
Incredible goal that he scored that night. Wonderful player, John Barnes.
Yeah.
There's so many.
You
Who can you put on
is
the
there a-
pitch?
Yeah, I mean, you could put players there on that team
Yeah.
every day of the week.
I'd love to be in Ronaldo
Hey.
because you know what he achieved, and we've gone for Alan Shearer, but his record over his career is just absolutely phenomenal. So
Sure. It's a tough ask, this one.
it is. We'll have Ronaldo on the
Yeah,
bench.
I
will we?
mean, the best player
He
ever.
wouldn't be happy with that. But
Right, you do get one more sub. Is Ronaldo going on the bench?
Yeah, what a choice, what a choice, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's considered with Messi as the best player ever, isn't he? You know?
yeah,
I think this might be one of the most cross-generational teams we've seen.
right.
I like that. Gone for a range of eras and players.
Yeah, for me, it's memories of watching certainly Kenny Dalglish, incredible player, seeing Liam Brady experiencing the talent that he had, and obviously this man in goal. I'm quite happy we've got this team, whoever they play, have got a clean sheet. So it's a good start.
I would hate to be playing against that lot every week.
Yeah, at least they'll be on your team.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks so much for your time. And again, congratulations for winning the PFA Player of the Year.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.